Welcome to the smallest game in town.
So we start off here and we have Mark under the gun just limping in, and so Will just calls. I get out the way and Valerio gets a cheap flop, and we can see he's got Queen 10 of clubs up against Mark's Ace King and gets a very favourable flop and decides to check because he knows that almost certainly.
So very dangerous from Mark limping with Ace King.
Yeah. Now, why didn't you consider raising here, or did you consider raising here?
I consider raising, but I decided at the end to play it slowly because was betting. Probably I should have raised definitely because I had to put pressure to Mark.
Yeah. And then the King of Spades is not a good card for you really, but it encourages Mark to carry on betting.
Yeah, a little bit shy now. Probably maybe a raise here. I take some risks just to put a little more chips. And now the club is just ruining everything, all the betting.
Yeah, it's a bad run out for you. You had to get money in early, and it's checked down at the end.
The cards that really didn't want was the clubs coming out like this. And probably that's why I should have bet at the flop. In a way that clubs, just bet before coming out, clubs coming out.
No, the spades came out, didn't they?
The spade.
Okay.
Quietly confident that didn't come.
Wow, what a hand.
So this is going to be hand number 2. So this is a hand that I was involved in. It's folded round to Will in the small blind, and you can see he's got King Jack and he puts in a raise. That's all well and good. And my Queen 8, I wasn't sure here about whether this is good to call, but I think it probably is okay, heads up like this. But I have to think about just getting away from the hand if I don't make much.
Yeah, just think you have a position here anyway, then
it's
just
worth
something.
Yeah. Well, the flop actually puts me slightly ahead with a pair, but there's a big draw for Will, and he bets out again. I like that continuation bet. Nothing wrong with that. And I call here. I'm not going to fold. I can't fold the pair. But when the turn comes with a king giving him a pair and he bets out again, I guess it's the size of the bet that kind of makes me think about just calling again. But I've got to be thinking I might be behind now.
Yeah, but it's just 6.
I know.
Then it just...
Yeah, I know. And
if it's Jack coming...
I have some 8s. If a Jack comes, if an 8 comes, I'm going to be ahead. But
also a Queen that, but if he's not betting big, then okay, it's good for you. Then
I thought the Queen might be all right, but as we'll see, it's tempting fate really by calling this, and I get the card that I don't really like, but. You can see I did actually think quite a long time on this. Actually, I didn't rush my call. And I think when you have a difficult decision, you should take your time. And the Queen gives me 2 pair, so my hand improves. But obviously, any Jack makes the straight, and Will doesn't take too long and puts in a bet of 25, and that's got to be a big red sign to me, and I guess I'm just a bit sticky here. I kind of want to look him up, and it is only 25, and I had been doing quite well. I was ahead at this point, but that's not a justification for it. I think it's a bad call.
I think you have to consider the single hand and the meta game. In this case, for these single hands, you know that probably you're beaten. But there are some hands that maybe you want just to call, that just to show that you are not going to fold easily. Then you take it. You know that you lose, just to see next time you cannot bluff me.
Yeah,
I know that I lose.
I thought you had the Jack there, right?
No.
From the beginning,
No, I had I made it on the. And what happens in the very next in the next orbit when I'm in the big blind again is once again it's folded around to Will, and I have a similar hand in Jack 8, I suppose, but here I actually had some very specific intentions. So I'm calling this with the idea that if the cards fall okay for me, I will try and bluff Will out of the hand. Maybe a bit risky, but maybe I was trying to get back from the previous hand. And I get an inside straight draw, and he bets out straight away, just like before. And I call again with my inside straight draw. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yep.
And then a lovely blank comes, and he checks. And that to me just tells me he hasn't got anything. I think with any pair, if he had a queen or a 10, I think he would carry on betting. So I put 15 in, which was 15 out of 24, which puts him under a little bit of pressure. He doesn't snap call. He has a review, has a think about it, and he calls. He later said that he had ace-king at this point, so he's looking at the inside straight draw.
If he was willing to put some chips, he should have led the betting.
I agree. Yeah, he should fire the second barrel on the turn, and I'd probably just fold then. So, and another. Well, it's not really a blank because it now puts a flush out there, so it makes it even more dangerous. So, for him, so he checks to me, and now I really am thinking, can I win this pot? I have to bet here a reasonable size. I put almost a pot size bet in of 40.
It was a courageous bet, this one, I have to say.
And I had to admit, I couldn't resist showing it because I thought it might have implications going forward for the game. He wanted to play. You didn't come all this way to fold. So this is a hand where I have a pair of fours, and we actually have a family pot where it's all limped around, and there's 8 chips in, and I'm in the small blind, and I get a dream flop. With the ace, the 4, and the jack. So I have bottom set, and I decide to lead out here. I think you, Valerio, knew what that meant.
Yeah, I just fold now because I knew that you had a strong hands. I thought you had a set of 4, really.
And Mark is, interestingly now, assembles a raise, a minimum raise, which I think you either raise big here if you've got a good hand, or you just call.
He raised 8 with 8 chips.
Yeah, he said he had ace jack, so he'd made top 2 pair, and actually then Will followed in and called the 8 cold, which made me think that was a strong hand. But he said later he only had king queen, so he was looking for a straight with a 10. So now
It's a mini raise.
It's a mini
micro
raise,
raise.
I don't really want to be up against 2 players here. I really don't. So I make it 25, thinking that at least one of them is going to call that, and then I can play a nice big pot against them with the set. But Mark is thinking now, and he works out and has a little look at the pot. I don't know what that was about, but he now assesses that he must be behind in this case.
I think it was a good bet from you because there is both of them. They got enough out to make a big hands, and then after you you don't know if to fold a set of 4. Then you want just to push a set of 4.
Anyway, Mark folds his top 2 pair, which I think is extraordinary. But I don't think I could have done that, but he did, and.
I wouldn't fold as well, but I wouldn't raise as well like 8 and before.
So we're left with Will in the hand, and if he really only has 4 outs to his straight, then I think he obviously has to fold. He takes a little while getting to that conclusion, but
it's 80% chance to make it the next, and 16% if you see all 2. Also, if you see both cards, it's not justified to call. think a lot about this when he has
Yeah,
got them.
he often comes to decisions fairly quickly, but in this case, he makes the right decision and folds. And I show my set,
Yeah.
and everyone is pleased they did the right thing.
Yeah, I think it was the right thing. This is number 5, I think.
Yeah.
It's me with a 10-8. And
No, I think
no,
it's
this is Mark with 10-8, and got Will with ace and jack.
yeah, good raise with the ace jack. That's perfectly good, and called quite quickly by.
It's not very good to go out of position with 10-8. I think
don't
it's
like that.
wrong.
No,
He had 2 pairs.
but fortune favours the brave, as they
Yeah.
say, and
There
look
has to
what
be something
happens.
strong to raise.
Ta-da-dam, 10-8.
Yeah, you got out
Top
as
2
well.
pair on
So
the
I
flop,
That's very good flop.
and Mark
I think I
donk
would
bets
staying
out
in there.
with the 6.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting here is the donk bet, but Will calls with just
Yeah,
two
because
overcards.
Mark always don't bet
Yeah.
with anything. Then
And I think
you,
that's the reason, yeah.
you really don't know where is Mark now.
But now, interestingly, Will picks up
If they all call,
the double belly buster with 8 outs to get a straight. So,
Just 6 chips for Mark.
and that's
you
too
have to
small.
call.
That's far too small. He needs to bet bigger. And a good call
I
there,
wanted to
obviously.
get money in.
Yeah, I
By
think
Will.
that was the
I
main-
wanted to get the
And
money in
he
early.
doesn't
'cause I didn't
get
know what
there,
was gonna come out,
unfortunately.
so-
And I think it's just checked down.
Check
Yeah,
down.
Right, just checked it down.
At this point, he should have bet
Put,
with
uh,
a 10-8. Because
Mark
you play
had to bet,
10-8.
yeah.
If you get 10-8, you should play because you lose a lot of hands with
Yeah.
playing that kind of hands.
Yeah.
Then just
Best player, cash game players.
So
in the
this is
world.
one of yours
Jack
here, I
four,
think.
and all she had was Jack
7-6 is not a premium hands,
And
but
it
I
was
saw
winning.
Will always folding a
And they
lot
thought
and
it
playing
was cheating.
cautiously. I thought, okay, let's give a go to 7-6.
five. Gone 6 of you.
Very bad flop for me, and
So it's become
I don't have any draw, anything, and probably I should have folded here just to realize
So
it's
there's
a
a-
small
there's a
bet,
donk
but
bet
it's
with the
just too
flush.
terrible the flop that I should just fold. It's-
Will bets out here with the flush draw.
Yeah, but I don't have anything, and probably his over card is better than mine. Then I just had to fold.
But so you raised instead, and he called
Instead,
you straight away.
because the option were not to call. I cannot
No.
call that. Or I bluff, or
Yeah.
I fold.
Yeah.
And the best decision was folding.
So you both checked it on the
Also,
turn.
knowing that Will, he think I bluff continually.
Yeah.
And
So Will hits a hand here. He gets third pair on the river, and checks it to you. And now
I think
you,
it's the right time to bluff.
yeah. Well, you can't win without bluffing. You're 7-6. So you made it 30, and he insta calls you with third pair, and you rather sheepishly show your 7-6. And he takes down.
So
another
sad.
flop. Yeah, it was a very sad ending to it. So I mean, maybe you just picked the wrong. You just didn't have a strong enough hand or a connection with the board. You had no outs.
Yeah,
It was-
probably if it was not coming the 10, another card, 7, he would have folded. Then why not? At this point, I was involved in the hand. I couldn't. Just I should have offered from the beginning, and now I
It can't be
was
too
involved.
results
Yeah.
orientated.
Yeah.
I don't think. So this is a hand with Mark and Will, and Mark takes the decision to raise on the button, which we have to say is quite a rare event. So he makes it 6 on the button, and we're all a bit taken aback by that. So is Will, but Will
what's happened to you?
decides
You
to
folded?
call.
Raised it to 6.
Usually we put when
I call as
when
well.
he's raising Mark, we put him in with jacks.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
a
a
big,
pocket pair.
no huge pair. He would play aces just limping. And
And the flop comes down, and it's checked around to Mark on the button. He's made third pair, and that's plenty for him to carry on betting. So he puts in his favourite 6 chips, and he's called straight away by
but, yeah,
Will. I think Will
probably-
had a pair here.
yeah. Probably Mark would have always bet a little bit with any little pair or a nice draw.
Yeah. And I think Will later said that he actually had a pair here, but now he's behind when the two comes. And another very small bet of 6, and why not call it? It's so small. And then the river card, it doesn't really change too much. And checked around. Another 6 chips, called, and Mark proudly shows his trips. And we don't see Will's hand, but I think he had a pair on the flop. He said he was ahead on the flop, but
I thought you might have had a 2.
No.
I obviously got the ace kicker. That's
Yeah,
all
it was unfortunate.
it's better not.
So I
I beat you right at the beginning. I wasn't going to beat you with 3 2s.
this one's yours, I think.
that's mine ace 3 shooter. So I'm playing against Will. I'm
Wow.
For 2 more.
the small
no,
blind.
don't say that. He's actually folded.
I know, I know.
Wow.
You guys.
You should have showed
I might
Wow.
regret that actually. But,
6.
So yeah, I call. I got an ace. I think I should call. And now still I got ace and
those
will
things that sort of
bet
don't
quite
do
big.
the job.
Here I should fold definitely.
Yeah.
But I just
I think he's got a very
was
strong
thinking,
ace
yeah.
or 2 pair.
Or a set.
Ace, yeah, or a set. So, yeah.
so I should fold here definitely. It just and I decided to call
You got sticky
and I was sticking.
and you got rewarded for it.
I was rewarded about it, but also Will slow down. He didn't bet, and I should have bet at this point because I taking that risk. But I was thinking about a set here. Then I shouldn't call 15 because also I couldn't bet if I was hitting my 3 there. I was not thinking of the 3. I was thinking I can win that with aces.
Yeah.
But of course he had
He was
better
better
than
than that.
aces.
Yeah,
Then-
absolutely. He later said he had ace 2, so he flopped ace 2 pair on the flop and was ahead until the river.
Ace 2 betting 15 is a little bit dangerous as well because I can have a set here there as well. Then
Yeah.
I don't know that big bet with just ace 2
Yeah.
was.
So this is a hand towards the end of the session, and you've got
I got king and jack and I'm under the gun. Then I just let's go for it 6
That's lucky.
and I got 2 clients, customer.
Some odds now, yeah. Giving me some
very
odds.
interesting flop.
So yeah, I got a king, hoping that it can work. I don't know if I can get another club, a nice flush here. But I'm not betting because maybe someone has got a small flush here, and then 2 betting me. And now with the comment of Mark was, I thought, okay, yeah, maybe. And also the passivity of Will made me think that the kings is the nut.
Yeah. Mark seemed to sort of regret not staying in, so it made us think, didn't it? That
Probably also my body language. He thought I was bluffing. I don't
Yeah.
know what.
and he had
was
caught
wrong
you
with my
bluffing
body
earlier, of
language.
course, with the 7-6 hand.
Probably I'm doing something when I bluff. I don't know. But I was not bluffing this time.
You have the second nuts on the table here, and I think you put together a very good sized bet.
Was a decent, also decent.
Yeah,
stack
you bet
now,
for
yeah,
value on
a
the river.
Decent pot here. Yeah.
I mean, all too often we see our hands get checked down on the river, and I think there is value here. He could call you with a jack of clubs, a 10 of
I will
clubs.
check. I'm thinking, but I know that I'm going to raise. I'm just thinking how much I have to do.
Yeah.
Then I put my eagle in the
Yeah.
side.
It looked just like you were doing the bluff before. Actually, I have to admit, with the 7-6, I mean, he snap calls you,
Yeah.
And I think that speed at which he calls you there,
He thought I was complete bluffing.
Yeah.
But
and you show down the second
was
nuts.
very courageous for him to call
Yeah.
with just a 4 club
But you basically got called on the turn,
because of
and
the
you got
bluff.
called on the river.
I was back from that bluff then.
Yeah.